everyone, and welcome back to the Charles Aris Executive Search Podcast. This is Kacey Toews joining you again for another episode of our Industry Uncovered series, where we dive into the world of AgTech with various industry leaders from the agriculture industry. Today, I'm very excited to have Kerryann Kocher join us today. Welcome, Kerryann, and can you provide an overview of your role and organization?
Well, hi, it's so nice to be here with you today and share a little bit about myself and Vytelle. So I am the CEO of Vytelle. We are a precision livestock company focused on providing genetic services to our customers to drive more sustainable meat and milk. And really what that means is we offer two key services to our customer clients that are cattle producers all around the world. And the first service is our high throughput phenotype data capture system. When we think about identifying the most elite kind of cattle that exist in the world for breeding purposes, it's really important that we have high quality data. And so we collect feed intake and weight gain data on individual animals down to 5 grams of accuracy. And we do that in an automated way. And so we're able to use that data to identify the elite animals for breeding purposes and really drive genetic progress forward through the correct and accurate selection of animals. We then think about, okay, well, how do we increase the speed in which we make genetic progress? And we offer a service of in vitro fertilization in cattle available to our customer clients today. And really what that means is we're able to identify and select the female, identify and select the male, and be able to produce in vitro fertilized embryos outside of the female so that we can reproduce the best genetics faster using the most high quality technology available to producers today.
Awesome. Well, thank you for providing such a great introduction and overview of Vytelle. It's definitely cutting edge stuff. So super exciting and excited to learn a little bit more about it. So just to kick us off, as technology continues to evolve, what are some notable advancements that you've noticed or had a significant impact on your organization?
So I'll kind of dig into this question in kind of two different ways. So when we think about our Vytelle Sense system, this is our hardware that is able to capture feed intake information in real time on a producer's farm. And we really built that technology back in the early 2000s. And when we think about the evolution of how data travels and moves, we think about cellular technology. At the time of creating our Sense equipment, cellular wasn't even a thing. We were moving through radio waves, massive amounts of data, and built a really robust infrastructure that allows us to be really flexible in the way that data moves. Today, we have lots of different options and choices around how we create data, how do we move data, and how do we optimize storage for data, for example, that has completely evolved in our time of being in business on our Vytelle Sense system, which is super cool. It also allows us to manage even more data, and more data isn't always better, but we really do want to find those elite animals through the trends that we create for our customers. When I think about the IVF side of our business or our Vytelle Advanced business, our technology has been in the marketplace around since the early 90s. Our IVF technology has been available to producers since the early 90s. Our technology is a better mousetrap. And when we think about creating the most accessible in vitro fertilization process for producers, one thing that we offer to our customers is the use of no hormones. And we think about hormone use in vitro fertilization, it's a common practice, and it's primarily used so that the OPU technician can see the oocytes on the imaging technology. Today, we've eliminated the need for that hormone, and the imaging technology is so good, we're able to collect those oocytes without the use of hormone. That's just one example of imaging technology having a direct impact on our own technology. And so we continue to look at contemporary technologies and how they can drive even a better overall product for our customers today.
That's really cool. It sounds like there's been a lot of advancements happen just, since the 90s, since the technology has come to fruition. But what other technological advancements do you believe are needed to further enhance and revolutionize your business?
Yeah, when I think about the use of artificial intelligence, this is so exciting to me around how this is going to advance not only our scientific knowledge of how things work, but also how do we continue to discover and find unique genetic traits that we can actively and selectively breed for, identifying those animals that are the most sustainable producing animals for better resource utilization. And what's so cool about that today, it takes massive amounts of information to be able to find those trends. With the use of data tools that we see coming online, we can reduce the amount of information, which reduces the cost, which allows us to make better selection decisions for a lower price. And those things are all massive improvements when we think about creating sustainable production of meat and milk. So I'm really excited about how that's getting incorporated into our own business, but also how we can really make it come alive through our own technologies.
Absolutely. And like you said, sometimes a lot of data isn't actually a good thing. So being able to kind of sort down
Yeah,
exactly what you're looking for is definitely that'll be an interesting and needed tool for
I
sure.
think there's like a phenomenon across agriculture today where big data as is important, and we have, Lord knows, we have so many data points when we think about any agriculture system. When we think about production crops, when we think about production livestock, we have a lot of data points, but we can't always make sense of them in a way that really drives the business forward. And so I think that technology is going to come online, and I think it's going to be absolutely critically important to really identifying the quality data that's required.
Yeah, absolutely. So suppose someone is introducing new technology to your organization, what advice would you offer them?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. Like, as we think about, in my inbox, in my email every single week, I have hundreds of these automated emails that are super catchy and trying to grab our attention for new technologies that would be perfect for our industry or for our part of the business. And I think what's so important about bringing new technology into your organization is that you're partnering with a player who understands not only the technology, but the nuances that that technology needs to live within. So when we think about, we have a lot of partnerships, particularly in the R&D area, where we look at different projects with different partners in lots of different kind of technology areas. And the ones that we choose to partner with are always the ones that understand the nuances of our customers and of our industry versus just being a technologist who is looking at agriculture as like a new fresh market that they can apply their healthcare technology to. The best partners we have are those that truly understand the nuances of the work that we do, the landscape in which the technology needs to operate in. And I think that's critically important coming into a new organization with any kind of technology.
Yeah, that's great advice. And knowing what the customer wants and needs is super, super important. So that's a great call out there.
In addition to our podcast, Charles Aris produces a variety of blogs and newsletters covering the latest recruiting trends across our areas of expertise. To subscribe and learn more about what's happening in your function or industry directly from our practice leaders, visit the link in the description.
So just kind of shifting it to talent for a minute, with the rapid pace of all this technological change, are you seeing any talent needs that are being exposed?
Oh, mercy, yes. So, I've kind of touched on this a little bit, but I think that we see a couple different areas, and I would say they're different. One area, if I was going back to school today and I was fresh into the job market, I would be looking in the area of data. This is not going away, and this is not going to be a flash in the pan kind of career. We never have enough analytics. We never have enough ag minded folks or production agriculture folks that can look at the information, make sense of it, and be able to ask the right kind of questions to do the right kind of analysis. And that isn't going away. And I just see that as an expanding growth area. Every time we're looking for talent in that space, it's been super hard to find in our with our kind of agriculture theme behind it. So I would love to see more more education programs, more college degree programs around that kind of use of analytics and data management in production agriculture, I think is one area that's significant. On the other side of things, the tried and true veterinarian, large animal veterinarian, is something that, to be quite frank with you, we just don't have enough of. And particularly those that are interested in large animal veterinary services and practices. And I think we see this as a real challenge, particularly in rural areas all across the countryside, where we need more large animal veterinarians just to service the clients and the customers that where cattle and sheep and swine are grown, right? And we don't see enough of those. We have a big supply and demand in something that we know really true. And I think the hard part we've got to create and think about as employers of veterinarians is really offering them a lifestyle choice with being a veterinarian. So a lot of times people think about being a practice owner, and that's the one path that they have as a veterinarian. But we know that in animal health industry, in service industries, there's a lot of different ways that veterinarians can bring their practice to life. And we like to offer some of those choices to practicing veterinarians across the United States. So that's a big area that we are constantly looking for people to engage in, and we just don't have enough of. I would then even say across the board, when we think about our basic operational aspects of our business, we're always looking for great and talented people in marketing and communications. And that is an area that I think can be, doesn't necessarily need a specialization in agriculture, but a passion to communicate to that audience is one of our kind of core values. And I would love to see more qualified candidates in that space as well.
Those are great call outs. I definitely can attest to the large veterinarians and living in a rural area. Yeah, it's crazy, but hopefully that will be worked on in the coming years with different programs and things that are beginning to come up. So appreciate that. So just one final question and kind of a fun one. What is one piece of technology you couldn't go without in your day to day besides a cell phone?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm sure everybody answers cell phone, so that immediately I have to get rid of. I have to have a watch.
Okay.
And so, and it can be a smartwatch, it can just be a watch. I think I need to know, and I appreciate knowing the time and the value of time and being on time and any aspect of what those watches can offer us. And particularly, I love a good smartwatch. I'll not deny that because I love the metrics that it delivers to me on a daily basis of whether I'm closing my rings or meeting my steps or whatever it might be. It's like a competition every single day, and I appreciate the information that that's been able to provide me, but also the motivation that it provides me to get up and move every single day. So I would say I'd have to choose my watch.
That's a good one. I don't think we've had that answer yet, and I love that because I am very much obsessed with my Apple Watch as well, and I didn't have it the other day, and it just felt wrong. So that's a good one. I hadn't really thought about, but it's very true. That would be on my list as well. So
Yeah.
love that.
What's your most
Well,
common answer on that?
would say cell phone. Well, Kerryann, I really appreciate you taking some time. That's all the time we have for today. So appreciate you sharing your insights. And if listeners would like to get in touch with you or follow Vytelle, how can they find you?
Yeah, we would love for you to look us up at www.vytelle.com or follow any of our social media feeds, and you'll find all the most up-to-date information around Vytelle and what we're working on in any of those locations.
Perfect. Well, we invite listeners to tune into our other podcasts from our Industry Uncovered series. And again, I'm Kacey Toews with Charles Aris Executive Search, and you can find us on the web at charlesaris.com. Thanks.
Thank you.